surprised, but hey, I mean, they brought it together. Some recognizable names there. Not anybody who's really taking the scene by storm, but either way, we are going to be taking this map and this match by storm as we head into Vertigo, the second map of the series. It is the pick of sAw, and they're going to be looking to inflict pain.
Yeah, let's see if they can close this one out 2-0. I guess it's kind of more of a surprising result for Para System 5, to be honest. The fact that Para had lost that first map, considering that's a bit of a new composition on that System 5 roster. We shall see, though. Yeah, we shall see how that will be finished up. Let's see how this one finishes up. Look at the belt of utility that ewjerkz and Story have in this T-pistol. That is a hell of a lot. Already, Nota has been met with a bullet to the brain.
Yeah, brought down to just 2 points of health. The least amount you need for it to be plural, Trav. 2.
Indeed.
Multiple points of health. And they've stacked up here. Rush B have really invested everything of the defense on towards the safe bomb side. How long do they sit here? You can see that they're not so comfortable staying with the stack. That's why they're now trying to play for some information. But they still look so unsettled. It's still so chaotic from the defense. And maybe that's what happens when you have too many players. It's just nobody knows where to position themselves. There's no room.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful line at the top of the default boxes too. Using that smoke to his advantage. That's the second kill for sAw. Texie's trying to tap away on this big flank, but whether this does anything, I get the impression is unlikely. He'll fall away and try and save. sAw going for the double pump toward A. KIRO just looking for some bonus cash with his pistol, but unceremoniously removed by Roman. So there was a lot of utility. It was actually something that caught off Rush B as well.
Yeah,
first nades come flying in.
I do like, though, that sAw didn't just commit off the bat, right? They showed presence through the util, but then they paused, and that kind of sowed the seed of doubt slightly. Rush B had committed so many players to the rotation, they weren't comfortable to just sit stacked on the bomb side. It felt like they needed some info. They were compelled to push there, and that's where they started losing a lot of players, and things became quite chaotic. So good composure out of sAw, who are now going to have to deal with yet another half-buy. This is clearly their modus operandus, Trav. This is their way. It's not just a map-dependent thing, as we saw them do it on Anubis as well. They're doing it here on Vertigo too.
Yeah, we'll see. They keep that 1750 on their ore per KIRO, and about 800 on the rest. Little boost for the MP9. Actually, does some good damage, but of course now it's been spotted out. Unfortunately, Roman shows the tip of his bonds to Kinky, and Kinky won't be saying no to that. So that's an opening kill for the CT side.
Yeah, this is quite scary, actually. I see why Rush B go for this. It gives them quite a lot to work with in the round with these upgraded pistols. Not much armor. Players do have Kevlar.
Oh.
Good damage on the wall bang. Going to tickle a couple of players. Still a man advantage in play for the CT side, and they're making moves right now. 3 players in towards Skinny. arrozdoce has no idea. He catches the glimpse of an elbow. He doesn't know that Nota's actually crossed already, and it's going to be kills that continue to go back and forth. ewjerkz doesn't have much health. Both players corralled, cooped up in the corner. How does ewjerkz salvage this, if at all?
It's impossible. They're going for a double swing, but no bullets left. Oh, if he had more than 2 or 3 in the Mac 10, I think actually he probably takes Texie as well. But
yeah,
a nice double swing.
You could see he was hesitant to continue spraying because he knew he was running out of ammo. So I completely agree with you. If he had a full mag there, he just continues to hold down mouse button 1, probably gets both the kills.
Yeah, nice recovery from Rush B. That half buy in the second round pays off this time. And sAw, a team, of course, we'll be seeing in Copenhagen for the first ever CS2 major. We hit back down to a double D and a double tech with the hero AK on Story. It's ewjerkz who has kind of sacrificed himself to have no armor to get that AK alive. I think Kinky may have spotted one there. As the Deagle bullet whizzes past the sandbags. A charge up, and actually Kinky's very much in the open here. Thankfully there is flash support and support from Nota on sandbags too. So this shouldn't be too difficult. Now there are 3 players looking to try and fight their way through. Story's AK will take Nota. Somehow he's going to try and tap down 3, and that swing from KIRO's MP9 is going to be very unexpected. Executor finds it, gets a nice little cheeky upgrade as well. That's the only problem if you go for a hero AK. If you lose a round, you'd probably give it over to the CT side. And sAw will have to full eco.
Great chance here for Rush B to build themselves a bit of a lead. That half buy is still sort of lingering in my mind right now. I actually kind of like the way that they play it, right? It's not like they just half invest in that second round and then sit by idly. They get in the faces of their opponents, they unsettle them, they don't give them any room to set up and be comfortable. Constantly asking questions, just making an absolute nuisance of themselves. And, well, it worked out. You know, you're not sort of speculating and trying to figure out the logic behind it on the previous match, but they've just shown us there how it's designed to work.
P9's going aggressive, looking to try and get some cash. Nota. He wants to go in for more. Unfortunately, there are more than just the one on the other side. Needs to be wary of that, and actually, that could not have been better for him. They all peeked each angle he checked on perfect timing, and the third player runs into the spray. He'll get taken down, but he's done his money farming for the round. And now you can get his M4A4 out instead. sAw, first full gun round of the game, is coming in for them.
Yeah, they should have been in a far more comfortable position coming into this first gun round, considering the fact that they won the pistol, but that is not the case. Down 3-1, a chance here for Rush B to continue to add pressure onto the team who have picked the map, and it looks like they're going to try and assert some dominance towards ramp early on. Arrozdoce, speaking about asserting dominance, will find the opening frag. Had a strong start in the previous map. He's flexing his muscles early on here on Vertigo as well. Taking a lot of damage, but he will get out with his life intact.
He's great at that. Those opening picks in these rounds, saw so much of it in the RMR, of course. Materis in mid. I think in every edition I've seen of this sAw roster, Materis has always been that mid lurker. It's a constant across all the players he's played with over the years. Once this map was introduced. Well, they make their way up toward A. Minute to go, so more than enough time. Nades blowing around the shrapnel on the map, and that's going to be a good counter incendiary toward ewjerkz. It's going to be a boost up on the white box, and that's a lovely one for Nota. He gets his kill, the spray over the top of that smoke. Unfortunately, though, Kinky will go down. And that puts it back into a 3v4. And utility, actually, counter utility here for the CT side is pretty good. They've already forced Roman off the plant once. Thankfully, the clock isn't an issue just yet. But every single CT defender is here for Rush B.
Oh man, the bomb's gotten across. Texi has no idea there's a player behind him, but the smoke will give him the cover. He needs to find 2 frags and get out with his life intact. Muterus is desperately trying to trade, but he won't. What on earth is that round from Texi? 4 frags coming through from his rifle in such quick succession as well. Robs sAw blind.
That was beautiful from Texi. And as you say, I mean, the only... What's interesting about that is that the main thing that delays sAw from getting that plant down early and getting set up in decent after-plant positions is just that one incendiary. It forces Roman back away. They play it a bit slower. And that allows, with that smoke still up, Rush B to play a little bit more aggressive. Texi gets to the corner of the default box there. Gets his 1 on the attempted plant. And then jumps up at the headshot angle to take the gap player too. Like, that was really well thought out. He even gets the next 2 as well.
Use the smoke to perfection, right? Because if there had been 2 or 3 seconds less life on that smoke, then he gets exposed to Muterus and he isn't able to go on that tear. So just a really good understanding of the situation there and how to go about navigating it. Maximize that position, really. And now sAw are going to have to half buy. 4th round in a row that they've lost. Rush B have got all the momentum behind them.
It's these sort of rounds that sAw can be so dangerous on there, of course, with these Tech 9s and Mac 10s. I've seen many a quick B execute on Vertigo that has broken the backs of a CT side with these annoying fast buys, and actually that is what they're doing this time. They forced Texi all the way back into CT, but the fact he's played so defensively catches ewjerkz off guard and gets a freebie. They, of course, by doing that, allow sAw the plant with for a little bit of a cash injection. And now double gen and a double swing. Surely this can't do much. Nota finds one more. It's dancing back and forth. It's a nice swing shot from Roman, but Story is left probably with literally no hope. And yes, he's in the smoke with a Glock. So that is definitely the answer to that. Kinky taps him down. 5-1.
Certainly was a matter of time there before he was going to get found out in the smoke. 5-1 indeed, Trav. I mean, sAw get the bomb plant there, so that in itself is a victory, because now what that means is if they lose this round, even without getting a bomb plant, they still have a buy in the next. You can see that extra sort of $500 to $800 cash in each player's bank account. But sAw have only won the pistol. That's the only round they've been able to win so far in Vertigo. Coming into this gun round, Trav, feels really important for them to get across the line.
Yeah, no handle on this game yet. I do like sAw's CT Vertigo quite a lot, so I wouldn't be panicking if you're a Portuguese fan just yet. But they do need to get a handle hold on this side now. Nota will use quite a lot of his utility to try and nade out that left cubby. Oh, KIRO just a little bit quick on the trigger. Maybe gets a cheeky opener there through the gap in that smoke. Not this time, though.
Yeah, Story going to make sure he uses his flashes to clear out any potential players now that they have the info. The York is towards this part of the map. Molly going to be giving up the click there. They know there has to be someone behind sandbags, and they will do half of the damage to Note. But look at the aggression from Kinky, really trying to force the issue there. And it wasn't the worst play. They knew that sAw were heavily focused on the sandbags positions. That's what he tried to capitalize on, was catching them off guard. And speaking about catching them off guard, arrozdoce finds a really good timing on the opposite side of the map.
Yeah, that could be enough finally to get off the mark. Rush B, good economy, but there's no reason to throw it away when you're so far away, especially in a 3v5. If it was a 3v3 with this economy, they would definitely go for it, but you know the plan here. Sadly, it's always frustrating when you're in this position, probably, as a CT side. You've built up your own bank and you've been keeping your opponent's bank low for so long, and then finally they get a chance to win a round, and sadly they're going to win it with all 5 players alive for Rush B's sake, which just bolsters their own bank so much quicker. So it's frustrating they can't get any exits, but of course sAw won't be hunting because they need to do exactly what I just said. So they'll keep all 5 up. But Texi, as we see, quintuple digits in the bank. More than enough to repurchase alongside Kinky, so no worries. So I'll have to do it all over again.
Right, well, that is going to be giving them a bit more of a boost of confidence. You could see that was a really well-worked round coming through from them, just in terms of the way that they go about their business. They showed some really good form on the T side of this map against Fnatic and the other team. I can't remember who they played against at the RMR.
Enterprise and NIP. Yeah, that's it.
NIP? I don't know if they played against NIP on Vertigo. I don't think that they did. I know they played Fnatic, just looking back now. Doesn't look like they played NIP.
Yeah, the Enterprise game was
5-7 against...
It was Vertigo, the Enterprise game. Yeah.
Okay.
Second map.
At a 5-7 half against Fnatic, though, 7 rounds on their T side. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to replicate that here against Vertigo, as they're on the brink of going down 6-2. arrozdoce going to do some good work to find a kill back, but he has to do a lot more than that, Trav.
That was actually a really nice pathing that arrozdoce took there, up the corner of the stairs, and catches the headshot angle. That's what must be frustrating for Texi, because I'm sure he thought he was pretty safe in that situation, but I don't think sAw feels safe. They're in a 2 versus 4. Materis and arrozdoce will try now work this together. And the worst part of it for them is that they don't have any smokes to cross. Thankfully, in this instance, they get some intel and see that they were just playing a retake position behind the gen to watch the gap on the cross to see when sAw make their way in. Materis is convinced, absolutely convinced there could be a close fight somewhere else, but eventually he will have to get that plant down, and he does now. Beautiful hold from arrozdoce, though. He's going to get himself 3 from this. Oh, he's on for the ace here. This is ridiculous stuff. In this 2 versus 4, he might be able to kill all 5 of them. Muteris has been tagged up too, so it's a little bit dangerous, of course. KIRO, though, AWP on the retake. The Tech 9 might be enough for both of these two, but he might just fall away. And wow, what a round from Mr. Sweet Rice.
I can't believe how arrozdoce was able to hold the line there, up close to the generator. I mean, Muteris was so spooked, right? Just faking the plant time and time again, trying to bait the players out and hope that he was able to find a kill or two before he could commit to the plant. Wasn't afforded that luxury. In fact, it really worked against them. Because of how much he was faking, it bought so much time for Rush B to rotate across towards that side of the map. Didn't matter though. arrozdoce just in the front lines, able to hold it down. 3 clean headshots coming through from him, and well, KIRO with his tail between his legs says, I want nothing to do with that.
Yeah, and little did he know that if he charged in full running speed with the Tech 9, there's a good chance that maybe he actually has a shot at killing both in quick succession. They're both a couple of taps away. But yeah, fantastic round for sAw to recover. Does that break a tiny bit of the Rush B spirit? It's one they know they should never be losing.
Alright, well, is that going to be where the tide starts to turn? sAw have won 2 rounds in a row now, win this next one, and they break that CT side economy, level up the scoreline off the back of it. That's a big opportunity now. Can they seize the moment?
Slow start to round 9 for sAw. Realising that perhaps B is feeling a little bit weak right now for Rush B. Ironically.
Well, I suppose it's got to be the strong side for them on the T side, right? In right now, and we see ewjerkz raining in death and devastation. arrozdoce continues to do damage over on the side of the map as well. It's a man advantage for the T side as the bomb plant comes through as well.
That Molotov will force arrozdoce back away towards the back of the site, but 3 versus 2. Now Story has the line with the AWP. He gets dinked, I believe, for his troubles there, but still gets the kill. And once again, I think that's going to force KIRO away. Pretty basic one from sAw there. Just a bit of early B stairs control. Push up as a group. Muteris once again mid-lurk, like I said. Getting that 1 kill was more than enough for Muteris. Basically relaxes the situation completely for sAw in a 3v2 rather than what would have been the other way round. No upgrade for KIRO available. I tell a lie. There was actually an AWP on the floor right next to him. So, didn't see that on the switch. So they're going to have another full purchase available with KIRO's AWP.
Well, at least they can continue to churn out these buys, right? But hasn't been a problem about whether they've had weaponry or not. Been a problem in trying to get across the line. Does look like sAw are going to go back to their old faithful. They did try and start off the half with bullying this B bomb side. It didn't work too well for them though, Trav. Losing most of the rounds. It was only the pistol round they were able to win on the side of the map, but they've had a lot of success over towards B, so now they're coming back towards A.
Yeah.
See if they can make it work.
Yeah, B has been a success. I mentioned that something that could be a good change-up. I think Nota's a bit screwed, and actually, I think Nota will be kind of delighted that he gets 1 stuck on the edge of the site like that.
Oh,
and that's a lovely peek from Double Stack for KIRO. Tira's trying to fight his way back, but not this time. It's going to be another tough one to find, and that makes it even more difficult. The man who brought back a previous significant disadvantage is now tagged down to 10 HP. He did it on 36 last time. I think this might be a little bit more difficult for him.
yeah. I mean, he did have a brief opportunity as he rounded that corner. The AWP wasn't looking in his direction, but arrozdoce wasn't prepared for it at all. However, I wonder if Muteris wins the foot race here in towards this B bomb side. Texi's going to arrive on the scene, playing around the generator. If he loses this gunfight, that would be devastating. It's not looking very clean right now for Texi. arrozdoce is going to get in on the action as well. He doesn't have any health, as you mentioned, but certainly does have some clean aim. Not going to be enough on this occasion. Muterus gets blinded, which leaves arrozdoce high and dry. And at this point, it's about dealing damage. Try and keep that CT side economy honest. Nothing on offer. Orp will finish off the job. And Rush B keep distance between themselves and sAw.
Yeah, at least a little bit of a gap, a little bit of breathing room. But sAw still have an opportunity to even up this half at 6 apiece. They've got a good bank built up now. You'd think Rush B need the 7-5 or 8-4 at least once they go over to their attack. Good figure out of that round, though. I was surprised, as I said, that Nota got away with one stuck on the girder, next to the girder there on top of double stack. That's very often a position that just doesn't really work out for you. And he was fortunate to get one. Story, though, he spotted some information, scoped in on the little gap between the yellow tarp there.
Yeah.
And it helps out ewjerkz get that kill.
Exactly. I think that was the coordination, right? Story spots it. Really going to be tough to hit the shot there, but he can relay the info through to ewjerkz, who sprays, but he's got more work to do here. In towards Skinny he goes.
Oh!
And he will completely eviscerate Kinky as well. A beautiful adjustment there from ewjerkz to get that third frag.
That is a disgusting reaction. And sAw's stars stepping up in some of these tough rounds now. Some of these important rounds that they need to stay in touch. Once it was arrozdoce, now it's ewjerkz. And that third kill is disgusting. Kinky, one of those things that probably Kinky is spraying it in while he's got his head to a side. Gets the immediate dink and just relaxes and thinks, okay, all's good. No worries. And just gets absolutely destroyed. Zoomer reactions, perhaps, compared to Kinky. Bless him. Roman will get one more, looking for these guns, of course. They can afford to hunt with the last round of the huff coming in. Can they remove KIRO's AWP? There's a chance they could do so. Molotov will miss, though. So KIRO can try and stay alive, but he's got to stay alive for 10 more seconds. 5 more seconds, and he can't. Roman removes him. And look at the money.
Yeah, they needed that AWP. It would have been the only notable weapon coming into this next round. Now it's MP9s with the side of an M4. At least they do have that one rifle at their disposal. But when you consider the way that sAw had started this half, they fell, what, 5-1 I think it was? Was it even 5-0 at one point? No, I think it was 5-1. But still, sAw have fought back really nicely since then to get to this point.
Oh my goodness, I thought I was somehow Nota getting that kill through a wall with an SMG. That's very unlikely, but it was KIRO peeking with him. But look at this. Immediately, after losing those picks on A... Oh, Executor, I was going to say he might let his teammate die here, but he desperately needs at least one. He gets his one and picks up the AK. Saw very, very quick in mid after that A presence, and it might still give them a bit of a glimmer of hope in this round. Nota charges through. He's trying to bait KIRO in, but now KIRO's almost out of bullets, and they check Executor's position perfectly. And of course, ewjerkz now exactly knows where KIRO is coming from, but KIRO manages to take Story still. So it's a 1v1 to end off half number 1 on Vertigo. KIRO, though, he's charging in on this one. I thought maybe playing it a little bit slower. Now a left-click smoke to try and get a little bit closer, but ewjerkz is better. A quad kill to end off the half, and honestly, it was quite a lot better than I expected. That's a beautiful and impactful quad. We'll see you after a quick break. Nice recovery from sAw to even up the first half at 6 apiece, and their individuals really stepping up when needed. Arrozdoce in that ridiculous 2 versus 4, and ewjerkz getting a lovely quad as well on the last round of the half. And multikill already looking to fight mid early on the CT pistol.
Oh my goodness. I mean, the CT pistol was not a successful one for sAw on the previous map, and it's looking like it could be more of the same. It's just numbers in towards middle. That's the name of the game here for sAw. Story is the third player in. He's only got 3 kills to his name. They're certainly going to need him to light up the CT side if they're going to get the job done here on Vertigo. Their AWP is going to have to be an integral part of the defense. Or will be an integral part, should I say.
Yeah. This is now borderline impossible, but I was about to say impossible, and then Story got a kill, so it's not impossible anymore at all, because there is still an incendiary on Roman. If he times this nicely, when he hears the tap on the bomb, they might not be expecting an incendiary to be brought up on the pistol, but it's execute a plant. It will be thrown in now, a little bit earlier than maybe they necessarily wanted, still 50 seconds, but there is a flash prepared as well. It will be used by Roman to at least get Story close, and it's working out beautifully. The frags are quick back and forth. And in the end, KIRO, yeah, surprisingly, to just slightly behind Roman, was the insurance policy, and it wasn't much of one considering it was a 1 versus 1, so good recovery.
Yeah, really good recovery there. I mean, I do like the plan from sAw, the way that they throw the incendiary to disrupt the plants and then try and flash their way forward. But as you say, everything was maybe 2 or 3 seconds earlier than what they would have liked, because otherwise that smoke would have completely faded and then the flash would have been more effective and maybe could have caught the T side off guard. However, it's going to be Rush B who get their noses in front. Now they have to deal with the CT side force buy, though.
Yeah, and once again, they've sacrificed 1 player to get at least 1 rifle in play. They got it on ewjerkz. That's the main man you'd probably want as well. Story, the one with no armor for that. And once again, Rush B are happy to go full Galil and 1 AK. No SMGs in play.
Yeah, looking towards the future. Up against 4 hand cannons and an M4. So it's actually ewjerkz and KIRO have got the 2 superior rifles in the server right now. 2 of the star players as well. The top fraggers respectively for each of their teams. Muter is getting some info in towards the middle. Big stack from sAw over towards on the T-bomb site. Is it going to work out? Looks like they're heading in that direction.
Oh, they're baiting in Story. I thought for sure it would work out a lot better than it did there for sAw.
Yeah.
They had so many numbers in that position. ewjerkz only got 1 as well in the midst of all that. I mean, damage was okay, but the fact that multikill was fighting for his life with the deagle and baiting in Story, who's directly underneath the window there, it's usually a position that can often get 2, but not this time for Story. He couldn't react with a second headshot, so yeah, this is a good start to the T side. Vertigo has to come in for sAw. Rush B are going to be 9-6 up.
They should be. As long as this airstrike doesn't connect, there's still 4 AT grenades at sAw's disposal. Anybody keen for a game of catch, Trav? Oh, Kinky, he's going to play some catch of his own there. Oh god. Here it comes.
Maybe that's his kink.
Maybe. I mean, some people are into pain, you know?
Yeah. It's wild, but, you know. Whatever floats your boat and all that.
We don't judge.
We don't judge at all.
Well, we do. We just say we don't, right? Like that's
yeah, fair enough.
PC thing to do.
Low-key kind of true. I wondered how long it would take before he made a joke about Kinky.
I mean, it's the low-hanging fruit, but all fruit has to be picked at the end of the day, Trav.
If you want to eat it at the right time, yeah.
Waste.
Exactly.
Yeah, you don't want to let it go to waste.
Yeah, waste sucks.
Exactly.
Reduce, reuse, recycle.
When I say picking fruit, what's the first fruit that comes to mind?
I mean,
just an apple.
Probably an apple, but I don't know. I picked some blackberries at the end of last year,
go.
so
Something different, right? You got to be original.
yeah. We have a tiny little bramble bush in the the edges of my garden, and
Okay.
the blackberries are usually quite abundant at the right time of year. Pretty fun, pretty tasty.
That's awesome. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice is what they say.
That is true. That is true. Yeah, very nice.
Alright, well, this has to be a sweet round for sAw. They've got their full investments at their disposal. They've fallen behind by 3 rounds again. They do find themselves on the CT side. They've got a good CT side on Vertigo. I mean, there's not much of a sample size for Rush B, but historically they've struggled on their T side. So, gonna have to wait and see if that's gonna be the case here once again or not.
Yeah.
sAw still need to win 7 rounds on their CT side to get the job done 2-0. Rush B just need another 4 from here, and then we see the light of Nuke.
Yeah, don't forget, you mentioned the sAw game against Fnatic at the RMR. That 6-map streak they won on those 3 BO3s against NIP, Enterprise and Fnatic. One against Fnatic, they played 6 CT rounds and they won all 6 of them. So, let's see how good their defense is against probably a team that's very hard to prepare for.
Yeah. I think that's a good way to describe it. They have no idea what to expect coming into this one, so they'll just be looking to play their own game. Make sure they play to win, not just playing not to lose against the underdogs. Rush B happy to take their time here. Pretty decent util rotation coming through from the T side as they start to dump their utility. Raining in towards A, and now they're taking control of ramp as well. Not sure that's where they're going to end though. Doesn't look like it.
Oh, arrozdoce close up to the plywood. Is he going to get away with a kill here? Mutiris kind of needs to get 1 to bait arrozdoce in. Oh, I was going to say 2 might be enough, but he couldn't finish off that second. And the Molotov does reach Mutiris eventually. But Story's gone charging in here. KIRO doesn't expect that whatsoever, and nor does Texi. The trades come thick and fast, but they're mostly in sAw's favour. Roman's rotation was quick enough to make sure that didn't get out of hand. And yeah, I honestly, both those 2 positions from Story, I thought wouldn't necessarily work, but he went aggressive through that smoke quickly. And dealing with 2 like he did was more than enough.
Yeah, I like the fact that he doesn't hesitate, because he knows they've already killed 2 players on that B bomb site. They're not going to be expecting a 3rd player to deal with on the site itself. And remember, Story came into this half with 3 kills to his name. He's already found 6 frags since then, so certainly has been able to elevate his performance, as most AWPers do on a CT side. Not that he's got any kills with the AWP just yet in the half. This is such an important round for both of these teams, and more so sAw than Rush B when you just look at the economic standing. Whoever loses this will be reset, but obviously Rush B have more rounds to play with.
Yep.
And they've got more players to play with in this round as well.
sAw won't be taking any of these rounds lightly, or any of these games in Challenger League lightly. They are, of course, a bona fide major team now. They've been a bona fide Pro League team in the past too. They want to make it back there again. So every little helps in terms of round difference and maps won. But this is a great chance for Rush B here. The good old-fashioned walk up A late round when you still have good utility in the bank, especially when you're a pick up. Thankfully for sAw's case, they have stacked 3 players close. Texi is still trying to keep at least 1 defender on B, and that's when Story goes aggressive. It actually was a pretty nice crossfire there for Story and Roman, but sadly I don't really know how they only get 1 from it. Missed shots, full stop.
Yeah, everything going Rush B's way. Bonplank going to follow suit at the Mutus. You just got to get out of dodge, carry the M4 through into the next round. There's no way you're going to recover this. I mean, arrozdoce has already accepted his fate. And that's double digits now for Rush B. And you look at the money for sAw, as I postured at the start of the round, whoever loses this round is going to have to settle for an eco in the next. It looks like that's going to be sAw. Well, it will be sAw, obviously. So
yeah,
Rush B edging closer and closer.
Very surprising they couldn't even get 1 on that ramp hold. I mentioned, yeah, being a bit more aggressive with it maybe is the right thing to do. A man down, especially on A, where you don't want to let yourself be executed upon. But in the end, Executor, even though he didn't do any of the executing, he definitely contributed with all that utility. So arrozdoce and Mutiris will save. Rush B eking ever closer. And of course, you're absolutely spot on about the economy. Not in a good spot for sAw. They might have to just try and stack the two M4s somewhere. Hope for the best. That's what the tactical timeout there just thrown in now will definitely be used to discuss. But hope for the best that Rush B rush into those two rifles.
Well, they could drop. Okay, they're not going to. I thought they might go ahead and just drop a couple of guns there.
Yeah, it
But
would
they
be very
decided to rather bide
risky.
their
Would have been
time.
one M4 and one
Yeah.
FAMAS they would have been able to do. Which is like 4 players on a gun, but still.
They could have dropped 2 M4s. Muterus has spent $500 this round.
That's true.
So would have had 4 M4s at that point. But still, they are guaranteed to now have a full buy in the next round and have a half buy now. Instead of just going all in on this round. It does make sense, right? Just playing that percentage-based game a bit more. See what they can do. Where do they position these M4s? That's a big question. Muterus, he's got his in towards middle, and he's not wasting any time. Arrozdoce, his towards ramp, or rather the B stairs, also looking for an early gunfight.
He's played here once before and got himself 1 3/4 kills. But obviously it's an incredibly common position to molly out. There is more than enough fire for Rush B to remove that position, but this is the sort of thing that can work out. We'll boost on toward gap, Noto of course, and Rush B will spam the yellow grate, but just playing defensively at the moment. Don't want to let anything come through. Roman will take a bit of utility over there from Mateus. I believe Mateus had that one flash. He's given it over to Roman. Obviously,
Yeah.
he'd have much more use of it than Mateus' position.
Rush B just need to make sure that they don't get too predictable here, because they have been playing a very similar style in each of these rounds, you know, waiting until around that 45-second mark, then starting to make some moves. Muterus boosted up with this rifle. Is it being considered at all? It does look like it is, yes. Great headshot out of Noto. That's going to dispatch of the rifle. Sure, ewjerkz recovers it, but he doesn't have armor to work with the rifle. Now all the utility going to rain in. We've seen there's a really good util. Nade finishes off ewjerkz. That's the site cleared out and the round done and dusted.
Yeah, arrozdoce, of course, has a kit, so if you can somehow do some damage here, with Roman picking up the M4 as well, you'd think that maybe some damage is important at this stage of the game, especially considering Rush B's money isn't, like, perfect, really, just yet. They have but maybe a buy in arrears if they somehow lost this round. But now, if they survive it with 5 players alive, they're obviously don't even have to think about the money anymore toward the end of this game. They're going to be 11-7 up. sAw trying to keep these 2 M4s alive so they have as much as possible. Story just sticking around with the P250. He's expendable. He can try for something. And there he goes.
Well, 5 players staying alive. I mean, don't think Note is going to be afforded the same luxury. Oh, Monk actually does get far away enough, so all's well and ends well.
Yeah, bomb
That's
blasts
gonna
are hard
be-
to judge these days.
Especially on Vertigo, because the verticality can be tough to predict in terms of how it's going to affect the explosion. Here we
Indeed.
go though, Trav. Rush B 2 rounds away. They ran out of gas on Anubis. Doesn't look like that's going to happen here on Vertigo. Kept up good form throughout the entirety of the map so far.
Yes, sir. Story's finally got his AWP out again. It's been a while. And he's going to need to do something with it. And tasked with mid. And a defensive mid angle. It's kind of now or never
is
for
it.
sAw in this game. You're absolutely right.
Exactly. All or nothing, man. Can they make it happen? There's going to be Story in towards middle. Looks like Rush B are going to turn up the pace. I mentioned in the previous round they can't afford to become predictable, and this is exactly what I was looking for. However, Story still has his finger on the pulse. The pulse beats no longer for Nota or Kinky. Executed kind of finds a bit of a gap there, but unfortunately can't capitalize on it. And it is going to be just Texi and KIRO left remaining. Live by the sword, die by the sword. Decided to approach this round with pace, but it's worked out against them.
Don't forget, it was Rush B who had a 9-7 lead after being 7-2 behind on map 1, and that's when sAw put the hammer down. Maybe sort of put the hammer down and picked up a spanner instead to fix some of these problems they've been having on their CT side, because this one's gone perfectly.
Yeah. More of that, please, if you're a sAw fan. Doesn't look like neither KIRO or Texi wants anything to do with the rest of the round, despite the fact they've got a lot of money. You know, I'd like to see them just go for this, you know. Even just for the sake of inflicting damage. 5 players staying alive bodes really well for sAw's cause, considering that they're just, well, 2 potential rounds away from losing the map. I think with Rush B having enough money in the bank account here to afford a full buy in the next, and potentially even the round after that, they should be trying to make something happen here.
Yeah, 5.4 and 5.7. It really is worth at least putting one player in to look for a kill. Guess they're thinking of future money as well, because as I mentioned, they have enough money to not worry about it for a while. But if it gets to 11-10, 11 all, true.
Who's got time to plan for the future of the future? Are you saving for your pension yet, Trav? I'm not.
I think my dad's probably spoken to me about it, to be honest.
Oh, well, lucky you, mate.
Just one little
you're thinking about.
Just a little thing to note as well. KIRO is having a superb series overall. First map, 23 and 13, 1.42 rating, 92 ADR. Second map, once again leading the way at 20 to 8. He's one to watch.
Yeah, you're right. Really good work coming through from KIRO on the AWP. And it's actually sometimes been the easier shots that he struggled with a bit more, I've noticed. Either way, it is going to be arrozdoce to come up good with an opening kill here. He's been relatively quiet in the past few rounds as he's slipped into a negative kill-death ratio. So need to be so careful here, playing in and amongst these smoke grenades. My god, KIRO and Story.
Wow.
So close to becoming exposed to one another, but it's going to be Roman through the smoke, who will ensure a 2-man advantage.
That's actually kind of ridiculous that Story actually couldn't see anyone there as those smokes were broken. Switching between the angles at the bottom of the ramp, and then Roman just sprays him through the smoke anyway. Got to feel a bit rough for Rush B. They do get one kill back, but not before they recover things. sAw once again. 4 versus 2. Don't forget, sAw won their own 2v4 on their T half. It's these sort of situations which they can't afford to let go 3 rounds behind. Buteris has gone hunting in toward T-spawn as well, so if there's another 2-man safe to come through, it won't be happening here. Kinky is showing his hand toward B. But I don't think Executor with the recovered AWP will really be having much to say with 20 seconds to go now. Oh, deleted.
Yeah, lovely headshot coming through from arrozdoce. As you said, Executor going to execute the plan of saving his AWP. And Muterus is already in the back lines hoping that somebody comes in his direction. It's not going to happen, unfortunately, mate. Although... no. Okay.
It won't spread. If it spread down every rung of the ladder, I think I'd be quite upset.
Yeah, all the way. That would be brutal. Either way, 11-9 now, Trav. Looking at the money for the T side, what's going to happen? KIRO can drop an AK. Texi can afford to buy himself. Yeah, they're fine. They'll have a decent arsenal of weaponry, but it is sort of looking like it might be slipping through their fingers here once again.
Yeah, I mean, they'll know what went before. It'll be in their minds. Group A, of course. Kicking off Group A in the first night of ESL Challenger League, Season 47 in the Europe Division this season. System 5 and Pera doing battle on the mainstream. sAw doing battle right here in front of your eyes on the B stream. I believe we've got some to come tomorrow as well, so stay tuned for that. At least current information I have is it will be on the same stream here tomorrow with 9 versus Sangal. Subject to change, but that should be the schedule. So you'll see us here again tomorrow, in that case.
There was a change in the approach to this round as well from Rush B. They decided against going all in. Leaving enough money in the tanks to guarantee a full buy in the next. They still have some weapons to work with here coming into the 21st. sAw in pursuit of double digits. Rush B looking to get themselves up to map points. At least sAw for the most part now have a buy in the bank, right?
Ooh, okay. Talking about having a buy in the bank, but they're going to need to do more to the bank. because there's a fast B play coming in. And thankfully, for sAw, Material's got one in the meantime too. Fantastic flash from Story. I gotta say, Story's flash assists have been a common theme in the recent games I've watched of sAw as well. It is a common theme in general for an AWPer to be super solid with the flash assists and on those right timings. But that was a superb one from Story.
I mean, you have to be, because you're more often than not the guy that's going to be alive later on in the round.
Yep.
The guy who's not going in first. So you have to be able to support your teammates. Comes part and parcel with the role. As we do see sAw drawing within one. Rushby were leading 11-7 at one point. Looked like job was almost all but done at that point. But sAw have now eked their way back into the game. And they win this next round here. That's going to spell trouble for Rushby.
Yeah, you mentioned that T-side save, which kept their money alive a little bit more, 10% more. Well, I mentioned that at that point, 11-10 or 11-all could be when the money is at its worst, and sadly we could be in that situation now. Mitiris, okay, he's been dinked from the boost on B stairs. It's a bit spooky for sAw's leader.
Does make sense that Rushby are going to try to go back towards the A bomb site here. I think it's where they've had most of their success throughout the half so far. sAw have tried to defend it from ramp from Skinny, but it hasn't actually worked out. And again, they're going to maintain these positions as the round ticks on. Normally, the CT side will fall back into the bomb site itself. Mutiris is applying pressure through mid though, so he's going to get good information in the backstab. There's a rotation in towards A. sAw actually very well poised to deal with the imminent execute.
And Mutiris has made his way down the ladder silently as well. It's still being looked at by Executor. At least he hasn't completely left the ladder. And yes, Mutiris just checks the B connector first. And Executor gives Mutiris a dealing with. Damage to the smoke though. Kinky down to 15 HP, and Executor's been tagged as well. But he took Roman for getting that damage. These spams are so impactful. ewjerkz goes charging through, and if Texi wasn't toward gap, there would have been a chance. But look at the time on the clock right now. 4 seconds. Story 1v2. He could go for a wall bang, but no. He legs Texi. If he tries the wall bang from CT Heaven there, he could win the round solely from doing that. In this case, they managed to deal with him. And Rush B get themselves a map point.
Yeah, Mutiris gets ahead of himself there. You never want to commit to the actual flank when you start to take contact until you know your opponents have committed to the execute into the bomb site. Rush B hadn't started to push into the A site yet, so they still had their focus on the flank. They were still setting themselves up with utility. Mutiris needed to wait for the info to come through from his teammates that they were actually applying pressure on that A bomb site. It all falls apart. SAw desperately trying to deny that bomb plant at every corner, but they lose players in the process, and now Rush B have locked in map point.
It's just a bit of a flash in the pan for Rush B of recent rounds. Of course, it was 11-7. So you'd have to feel that sAw, with a full purchase still available and full belts of utility, they know that overtime is a very significant possibility here. But yeah, I mean, that was a tough situation for sAw. You could understand them wanting to throw bodies on the line to try and deny that plant, put it on the ground somewhere, so that having one player left alive is enough to win it. But in the end story, if he managed to get that kill toward Texi on gap, and he would have known where the final player is, of course. But look at that other option that I mentioned of just going for the wall bang through the box. You can do it, I think, from pretty much every angle, but the one from CT near the heaven area is sometimes quite easy to line up when the bomb's being planted on default like that. Couldn't himself in that right plan, and it gives Rushby a couple of chances to take this to a third.
Yeah, and the insurance of overtime as well. No way for them to lose the map in regulation. So they can breathe easy for the first time in the series. See how Rushby go about their business again. It's more of the same, just happy to take their time and build themselves into the round. Bleed sAw of their utility as the time ticks on. Hopefully find an opening kill and then convert from there. kind of just giving KIRO time, right? They're trying to give KIRO time to work ramp, see if there's anything on offer.
Yep. It's Roman and ewjerkz sort of playing with each other in that line. Roman, of course, number 11, just to reiterate. That's, of course, with the coach slots that we can manually enable for ECL. Does mess up the numbers slightly. Molotov toward gap, and that counter utility comes in at the same time. And Nota gets caught off guard by throwing that. Look at this off angle from Roman, though. He's got a big job to do here. He's only 8 and 14 in this game. Does he check the sandbags? Oh, he has a good chance of taking that kill. The Executor takes it, and now Mutir is fighting for his life in the open. How on earth is he doing so much damage right now? He's dinked up Texi as well, and Stories just hit a collateral. It puts it all down to KIRO, the hero of the game so far for Rush B. But look at the time on the clock. 6 seconds, got the plant if he goes now, but in comes the USP. It's scary with the flash coming through. Everyone's blind for a split second, but now there's no time left. And somehow, I think he's going to save behind these smokes. That's impactful considering the money that Rush B have.
Wow, I mean, what a round, right? Mutirus, I was surprised he was able to stay alive for so long. Then eventually he gets a kill. That dink was a lot of damage done, and then he lost his life out. But the collateral from Story, that was a wonderful multi-kill coming through from him. And that's rough for Rush B. Look at what that's done to their economy. As you say, thankfully for KIRO, he's able to stay alive because it's a really important continuation of the AK. And it looks like, well, they're going to employ their namesake here just towards the opposite side of the map. Finally, pace coming through from a team named Rush B. They haven't played very aggressive Counter-Strike.
Maybe that's the irony of the name. Who knows?
True, true.
I'd have to ask one of them for that. But, yeah, already significant damage. I said this game kind of had overtime written all over it. Already a significant advantage for sAw in round 24. Story needs to be very careful. He's got multiple players in front of him, and I think he's just been dinked about 3 times. Once with the MAC-10, and maybe twice with the Galil. That's gotta hurt. And I mentioned they had a slight advantage. Not the case anymore. And they're going to walk it back toward B. Now then, sAw are actually in trouble here. They're going to work as a pack. The only person here ready for this defense is arrozdoce. And honestly, what can he do here? Does he move further forward? I think he's going to. Thankfully, Kinky's low, but he can sacrifice himself in this position. Massive lineup, though. There's 2, and Kinky's low HP. Somehow he's the one to get that kill, but Mutirus was always going to trade it. 3v2 for sAw for OT.
Oh man, the players have rotated across for the CT side as well, so they're on the scene now. This bomb plant is becoming increasingly difficult to acquire. They will take it out, trying to bait players forward, and that's exactly what they do. Oh my god, they're going to kill a piece. Roman has to clutch 1 versus 2. He won't be able to, though. KIRO, the MVP of the map for Rush B, no doubt there is the one who'll get the job done at the end of the day, and they level the series.
Wow, how about that? Even in the 1v1, I kind of favoured sAw to take it to overtime, but Rush B claw it over the line. And it's all down to the main man, KIRO, once again. I said the MVP, at least for Rush B on map 1, he went like 23 and 12.